Welcome to Conversations with K and J. We're your hosts, Kayla and Janae,
In here, we talk about love, life,
and lessons learned. Hey guys, welcome back to Daily Doses of Conversations with Kayla
and Janae.
And today's energy, we are speaking on slowing down. Take a moment to appreciate the sensation of the sun warming your face, the sound of the birds in the morning, or the wetness of the grass under your bare feet. Consciously slow down to the speed of life. Slowing down is something we can equate to waking up. So many of us live our lives asleep, numb, stuck in the busyness of our day-to-day. Our minds consumed with regrets of the past or fears of the future. We must wake up to the present moment and open our eyes to the beauty of now. What you think?
I think that it's saying to start grounding yourself and stopping to smell the roses. Not to force anything right now that don't need to be forced.
Making sure you stay present.
Right.
Because, again, there's nothing that can benefit you in the past but the lessons that you've learned. And there's nothing that can really add value to the future other than being present so that you can manifest and attract what it is you're seeking. Because if we get too far ahead of ourselves, then it brings a lot of fear, anxiety, worry. That's the skipping too far ahead, worrying about details and things that have not even
Manifested
happened
yet.
Yeah.
Right. Overwhelming yourself, overthinking with things that you really don't have control over yet. That's what I'm saying. Like forcing something it's not yet done.
Right. So today we have an overall energy that popped out, and it's the Hangman. And I feel like we kind of talked about this. I'm not sure if it was the last session or the session before. I've been reading so much, so
Right.
I can't tell what is what. But the Hangman is usually about being in limbo or this stalemate, but it's one where you are receiving guidance and being enlightened, but you don't quite have what you need to start making movement yet. Whether this is you not feeling ready, prepared, or this is just God or the universe keeping you in a place in order to gain a larger perspective of something. And so with that being overall energy, we are connecting that to the Three of Cups and the King of Swords. So there has been this awareness of maybe sadness, unfulfillment, or unhappiness that has like lingered around, but maybe you've been putting it on the back burner or letting it fall to the wayside. And this is not anything that's coming up because it is problematic. It is just unnecessary. Like, you don't have to carry sadness along with you anymore. So we are kind of being granted this sense of slowing down so that we don't keep just flowing and going through these unnecessary motions of life.
Yeah. Yeah, having nothing to really be sad about.
Yeah.
Having nothing to really complain about. Like, you have to realize that you are in a better place than where you came from.
Right.
And like showing some type of, I don't know, gratitude.
Right. That's the whole point, right? We
Right.
want to evolve. We want things to get better. We have hope that things will get better and easier as time goes, as we heal and grow more. And so this is kind of that turning point where God is showing us that we don't have to go through the same difficulties or ups and downs that we did in the past, because we have become more attuned, more aware of how life goes and flows. That makes sense?
Yeah. I think the energy for the past weeks has been like the change is coming. So now is the time to stop and just relax and enjoy what you have right now in the present moment, because that's going to change. Like, the change is on its way.
Right.
And then we're going to get to that change. You're going to be like, oh man, I wish I would have like done this more. And
Yeah.
So
That makes me think of, I don't know, a TikTok we saw a few weeks ago. With the girl, she was sitting outside on the swing, and she was saying how God had her in this time period of resting,
Right.
and she was kind of more so depressed about it. But now that she's in her busy season, she wished that she would have,
You wish you were rested
valued
more. Right.
that time a little more. And I think that that goes hand in hand with what we were just saying of how we can tend to make things more difficult than is necessary. Collectively, we have gone through different experiences, but I think we all have experienced a season in the recent past where we were at a stopping point, or we were resting and we stressed about it. We tried to do everything within our power to change it or make it move forward. And I feel like this time period is a small reflection of that, but this is where you bring in the balance of the lessons that you've learned. And the lesson, despite what the details are for everyone, is still that God is going to move you forward when it's safe for you, when it's right for you. So stressing about how that's going to be or what that's going to look like is not really your worry. That's for God or the universe to figure out for you. It's just having yourself prepared by making sure that you're rested, by making sure that you're balanced and you're grounded and you're prepared for whatever comes next. So that's just really kind of going hand in hand. Enjoy these moments because they will be changing before you know it. And usually every time we get a little more comfortable within like throwing ourselves into being present is the exact moment when things start to shift.
Starts changing, right? Everything picks up and it moves like full speed. And then you just like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for it to be like, oh my God, happening next week,
Right.
But yeah, when you do finally just like let go and just take that moment of just relaxing and enjoying the present, it does all start speeding up really fast because you stop overthinking about it.
So with the Three of Cups, usually we're looking at that in a sense of blockages, things that are standing in between where you are now and where you want to be. And this could be in any like sector of life. But when we are looking at our emotions, again, this is about finding that balance so that you can freely get yourself into a place of feeling fulfilled and having the joy without the worry standing behind you or standing on the side of you. I don't really know how else to explain that, but it's like we've been able to move forward in life, but still holding on to the ands, if, buts, like, or the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or, whatever that looks like. It's still like this side feeling that we either try to push off or we pay attention to very like hot and cold, on and off. I don't really know how to explain what I'm feeling, but the King of Swords is about getting clear on your emotions and how you want to feel and what that looks like, and coming into that place within yourself. Like, what does that feel like and look like without you attaching it to anything else? In romantic relationships, when I have like one-on-one sessions with people and they're trying to attract love or bring in love, I tell them to make their list and don't be so like specific, because you'll have people be like, oh, I want them like 6'2" and dark skin and
handsome.
And it's just like it's good to have preferences, but you never know in which like what you're asking for will come in.
I'm about to say, watch what you ask for.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that you can't have that either, or it won't come like that. But if you're so gung-ho on
looks instead of
specifics, instead of just like getting to what really matters, you can miss your blessing. So whether you're trying to manifest a relationship or a new reality, this is just getting down to the things that really matter to you. Like what does that feel like? What does that look like for you in a energetic sense?
What will fill your cup rather than, I don't know,
fulfill your attraction on a surface level. And I know it just sounds discouraging when you think like, well, what if it's not going to look like what I want it to be? It's going to be better.
Going to be, right.
You know, I used to joke on the channel and say like, when I got that understanding, I used to think that like God was about to give me an ugly man just because I felt like if I got to let that go, then I'm probably going to find someone who's just like very sweet and caring and considerate, but just like I'm not going to be attracted to them. And it wasn't that at all. It was a woman.
He gave you a beautiful woman.
Anyways, stop it. Cut it. But yeah, I think that's where the extra little sauce of like what God has in store for you, because it's going to be things that manifest in ways that you didn't even know could be. Right? So with the Three of Cups, behind that is connected to the Four of Pentacles. And this is that disconnection, or being able to see things from a distance so that you can truly understand the value of yourself without attaching it to anything else. But this is also seeing the beauty of what is around you. And that goes into what you were saying about like taking in everything that is right now, because there's beauty and value in it. It once upon a time did it for you. It answered your prayers before. And now that you're evolving and you're seeking more, again, it doesn't mean that holds no value. It's just that you've outgrown it, that you have realized that you are deserving of more.
Right. And those are going to be the little things you miss,
Yeah.
about that moment.
But that also helps you to bring in the balance of gratitude.
Right.
And so this, again, stalemate, or this moment of waiting, is going to be a repetitive message of it's not punishment, it's purposeful, so that you can really go into this next stage of your life with this balance and understanding that you've worked very hard to get to where you are. And this is not letting anything or anyone come in and make you feel as if you just lucked up, that you didn't put in the energy and effort to be where you are, because you have damn near climbed your way out of this Five of Pentacles energy. And that's what this King of Swords is connected to, is being very raw and honest with yourself about the moves that you've made, the choices that you've made that has helped you to build and climb in such an authentic way. And again, it's really just giving me this feeling of when you get to this next phase or stage of life, you're going to have people per usual that are going to think that you just luck up, or that, it just happened overnight. But that's where you got to get real with yourself and know that it didn't happen overnight, that it took a lot of hard work, energy, and effort to heal yourself and everything else that was trying to block you and make you feel like this was not possible. So when you get into this place with yourself, it is keeping that balance. It's also slowing down within that too, so that you can truly enjoy it. There's no sense of rushing, because everything has a time and a place. I don't really know how to flow off of that, but what you thinking from that?
Yeah, I think you stole my thought, that from the outside looking in, everybody's gonna think that you just gotten it so easy, like, and they don't know the emotional roller coaster you've been on. They don't know the obstacles and things that you had to go through to even get there, and they will judge it. But like you said, you had this inner knowing of the things that you had to do in order to deserve what you received.
So to clarify, the Three of Cups, the Queen of Swords came out, and we're using two different like tarot decks here. So the Queen and the King of Swords are both here, counterparts, but two different decks. And so this is telling me that you have a balance in every aspect of your life right now. And this is where you have to remember that you have things to lose now. And when I said this on the collective reading, it really kind of hit different for me because, again, when we think like we have so much to lose, a lot of people go to material things and possessions, and it's not. It's your peace of mind. It is the fulfillment that you can find in the small things where people feel like they need the world and everything else in order to find that happiness and that peace. This is not letting people come in and steal your joy or your fulfillment around what you've built just because it doesn't look like what they think that it should look like. It's giving like you coming into a bunch of money, and instead of you going to get that $3 million home, you decide to get that $300,000 home because you wanted something just for you, like little charming, I don't know, quite little space, right? And somebody looking at you like you got all that money, you still being cheap. And it's like, no, it's not about being cheap. I got what I wanted, and I know the value of what I'm doing and how I'm investing and spending in my own life, you know? And so it's basically not letting somebody come in and change your mind about what it is that you want and what you desire. Because when people get their own, they're allowed to do whatever they want to do with theirs, but you protect yours at all costs.
Yeah, and usually when they don't got everything in check, they blow it. They blow that opportunity, and you done put in the work to make sure that you've covered everything. You've grounded yourself mentally, emotionally, and so when things physically start coming in, you know what to do with those things.
Yeah.
You know where to invest them.
Yeah.
Rather than just like blowing them because you just have it.
Right. So it doesn't have to be a material thing. I think that was just the best way that I could explain it, because it's what I'm seeing is kind of how somebody being like, oh, you went and bought that Chevy Blazer and I would have bought a Bronco. And it's like, well, I love Broncos, but did you see that crash test? Like, I value my life more than that, than to be seen in something. Like, I don't know.
That's a perfect example, though, because that's what people will do. Tell you what you should be doing with what you get. Like,
yeah.
And tell you what that's supposed to look like. It ain't because I have $1 million, I mean I have to go buy a mansion.
And even if this is going to resonate in a career sense for some of you, this is also standing 10 toes down on what you stand for and what you have built yourself off of, because I feel like this could be some of you getting a platform or getting an opportunity and people trying to come in and convince you on what you should do or how you should look or how that should be conveyed. And it's like, no, like I'm standing on what I say. And if it's anything different, then you can go away. You can take it. Like, this is really having that faith. And so, again, I don't know how that's going to resonate for everyone, but this Queen of Swords is basically saying you stand on what you mean and don't let anyone come in between that to interfere with the foundation that you've built.
Right, to confuse you.
Yeah.
Again,
because it's gotten you where you are.
Right.
And it's going to continue to build you and grow you, but you got to stay committed to it. And so this could even be a time in our lives where God has been testing to see how committed we are to staying down with what we started, even through not seeing anything happening from it. Because the Five of Wands is on the backside of this Queen of Swords, and that's your fears, that's your insecurities, that's people from the outside trying to bring confusion and chaos within you to make you second guess or question. And the Patreon reading yesterday was speaking on the past trying to place itself in your present moment to cause confusion and illusion and make you feel like your choices and your direction has been wrong. But if it was meant to be any other way, God would have guided you that way. Like, you are here where you are for a reason, and people may not see it and they may not understand it, but when you get to where you're going, which is arriving very quickly, that's all that matters. That's what I'm saying. Let people reveal themselves. Let things show themselves right now in your season of nothingness, so that when you come into everything, you know exactly who is who, what is what, and you won't be conflicted on that. And so to finish this off, we have the Five of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Two of Wands. Again, just being very clear with yourself on your direction and making sure that you're not picking or choosing things or choices or directions off of a lack mentality, off of feeling abandoned or neglected. I just had a dream last night that put me in a situation where I was speaking up in ways that I was surprised by even in the dream. And even though people were opposing the things that I said, like, I still was not in a place of changing my mind. Like, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. And I'm like, I don't care if you don't want to hear it and you walk out, I'm still standing on what I say. Right. And so I think a past version of me, if somebody would have interjected or would have, like, pushed back on what I said, I probably would have sat down and went back and forth with myself.
And question yourself. Right?
Yeah. And so even in your moments of having fear or moments of anxiety or just being unclear with yourself, you know exactly what it is that you stand for. And again, people may try to make you feel small, but you don't have to succumb to that to make them feel bigger, So the Four of Wands is ultimately saying that you have built a very stable foundation for yourself, but now you have to be very protective of that in the sense of not giving your time, energy, or attention to things that are opposing that. And again, to bring in the lesson that I learned from Patreon was to not get so caught up in your emotions about who has come against you or, the reasons that they're coming against you. It pretty much goes into a black and white sense of seeing, like, either this is supporting me in the path that I'm going because I know and trust that God put me on this path for a reason, and they can come along with me, or they're opposing that, and I just am not going to give any power or attention and let that be what it is. Right. You can yell off the side of my ear all day if you want to, but I'm still not about to turn around and argue back with you.
Right. So just letting that shit roll off of you and take notes.
Yeah.
Start jotting those names down.
Yeah.
But don't let it affect you. Brush that shit off your shoulders and keep it freaking moving. And then pull out that list when that time comes to know who's going and who's staying.
Yeah.
Start scratching people off. Start scratching things out.
And I think this has helped me just because I think my frustration lately has been being in the stalemate energy and feeling like if it's other people manipulating our energy and doing this and doing that, then like, why is that still being allowed? But whatever the devil sets out to do, God will use, to work for you. So even if people are trying to go out of their way to cause blockages or delays in your life, it is doing nothing more but transmuting into something positive for you to either learn from or gain more time to rest and recover so that you have the energy that you need to move forward. So it's like
people placing rocks and boulders in your way and you just climb up to just see it at a bigger perspective than seeing it from down low. Like, that only helps you. It doesn't hinder you.
Yeah. Or you're driving in the car, you got a destination, and then your tire goes out. And then you have to check in at a hotel that night, and it may slow you down from getting to your destination, but at least you got a little more rest than you would have before.
Right,
so
right,
when you get there,
just
when you get there, you can really enjoy it instead of just being all drained.
Right. They but stop you at an all-inclusive hotel, and you just eating good and resting good. So take advantage of that moment.
Yeah. Things may not be what we crack them up to be at this point, but we have everything that we need, truly. And so it's about making the best of what it is now, because this moment is temporary and we'll be
reminiscing about it.
Yeah, it'll be a memory soon. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for vibing out with us, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.